Do you feel the RBI has established greater credibility in the market through these measures? I was thinking about your comments on some intervention to basically stop the rapid descent of the currency. In fact, it's very similar to what the Reserve Bank of Australia did in 2008. Very targeted intervention to stop a huge one-way move without trying to determine an end rate, but just to signal to the market that the volatility
Absolutely.
needs to reduce.
Yeah, in fact, our exchange rate policy has been actually conforming to those norms, what you mentioned. Whenever we intervene in the market, the intervention is basically to address the volatility, either the rapid descent or the rapid ascent of the currency. We don't have any target exchange rate in mind at all. In fact, this time also, in 2012 and 2013, the entire intervention was focused at restoring some semblance of stability in the market without looking at the exchange rate. It had been fluctuating in a very, very wide range, 89 to 110, which means it was very heavily overvalued at one point of time, very heavily undervalued at another point of time. What we are addressing here is a kind of volatility which could cause a lot of injury. It could cause a lot of harm to the real sector.
And how do you find the real sector or even consumer sentiment adjusting to this change in how they see their currency and exchange rates and interest rates being managed by the central bank?
This is a very important question. Now, what has happened is over a period of time, the manufacturing sector and the other servicing sector, they have been looking at the currency stability for some time in 2009-10, and then they did not hedge their exposures at all. Now, India being a high-interest country, it is always beneficial for people to borrow abroad and use the proceeds in India. When the currency is going to depreciate, you are going to pay through your nose. That's a very valuable lesson I think the Indian corporates have learned in the recent past. So what you have seen as a kind of a behavioral change in the manufacturing companies, they have actually learned to hedge. So basically, of course, if you are going to hedge completely, it's a zero-sum game. You are not going to make much of a benefit. It will take actually a very, very calculated view of how the exchange rates will move and what part of the portfolio I need to hedge. So that many corporates are put in place.
So it sounds like this is forcing the market to become more sophisticated in a way that's actually quite positive.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Many of the corporates now look to FX products to hedge their exposures. They don't want to take complete unhedged exposures at all. There are, of course, other restrictions in the market that the corporates cannot take very heavy positions on their own without being backed by an underlying. That's the exchange rate regime in which we are functioning. Over a period of time, as the country actually and markets develop, we may have to take away this restriction. But this restriction is helping today.